is up, guys? It's LogicLookss, and today, boys, we got a video showing you guys how to make easy MT, but not by sniping, but actually by investing. So I'm gonna get into all the strategies that I use, all the things that you guys can use to make MT, and what cards you should specifically invest into. So I'm excited to get into the video. Stay tuned. This one's gonna be very helpful. Let's get into it, man. Let's go. Boys, getting into this video, you guys already know, man, there's two different ways of actually making MT in 2K22. One of them is obviously sniping. I've talked about it a lot. You know, I've showed it on the channel. I've showed filters. I've showed you guys how to do it and all that. And honestly, man, that's all great. But for the days when sniping is kind of dry, there's a different way to make MT, and that is by actually investing into cards, whether it's badges, whether it's players, whatever the case is, man. Investing into cards is actually a great way to make MT, and that's what I'm going to be showing you guys in today's video on 3 things that you can actually invest into and how to basically tell when something is going to go up in value and when you should invest into it. Obviously, first things first, like anything in life with investing into something, man, I mean, there's a risk of it not going up in value. There's a risk of it dropping in value. I mean, that's obviously, you know, pretty much with anything in life. But again, like I said, man, the things I'm going to show you today are pretty much, you know, a high, I guess, percentage rate of going up. So I'm going to show you guys what to invest into, what you can actually do to kind of, you know, sum it down, and every week basically look for a card that you're going to invest into. So let's get into it. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's go. So boys, the first thing we're going to talk about in terms of investing in 2K is actually badges. Now badges, we're going to go over really quickly because, to be honest, it could go very deep. I mean, there's like 1,000 different ways to invest into badges, but the main 2 ways I'm going to be sharing with you guys are probably the 2 best ways, in my opinion, to do it. Now, first of all, the very first way is actually just waiting for drops. So as soon as 2K drops something, you guys know they drop packs on like Tuesdays and obviously Fridays. You want to definitely pay attention on Friday drops. What you want to do is go on 2KDB, or, you know, go on Twitter, refresh 2KDB, find out what cards are dropping, and as soon as, you know, you find out what cards are dropping, as soon as they get added into the database and you're able to look at them and what badges they have, you want to basically look through hyped up cards that you think people are going to use, and you want to look at what badges they are missing. So for example, if a pink diamond LeBron drops and you guys see that he's missing clamps, what you want to do right away is go ahead and go to badges, go to clamps as soon as you see that. Like, go to the market as soon as you see that. You don't want to waste any time whatsoever. Go to clamps, find out what the cheapest is, and just buy up a few of the cheapest cards. Now this right here is kind of a mix between sniping and investing, because technically you're just trying to be the first one to get there. But if you are the first one to get there, you can get quite a lot of badges for, you know, well under what they're going to probably be going for. Now obviously you got to be careful though. You want to pick a card that is actually usable, that people are going to use, and a card that is missing a key badge. Don't pick something random like Lob City Finisher. That's not going to go up. People don't really rely on that badge. But something like clamps, people are going to need to put on a card like Pink Diamond LeBron, for example. If he doesn't come with clamps, is definitely going to go up. So that's kind of the first way to invest with badges. It's kind of a quick way. It's kind of a mix between sniping and investing. It's just kind of waiting for that drop, and as soon as you see it, you want to spot out certain badges that cards are missing, and you want to just go to the market and buy up as many as you possibly can, and then flip them later that weekend for a nice little profit. And honestly, those little profits can definitely add up to a lot. Now boys, this second way to invest into badges is a little bit more risky, but at the same time it's a little bit just more, I guess, easy. I mean, it's honestly as simple as just buying a card and flipping it for more, buying it when it's cheap and flipping it when it gets a little bit more expensive. So what you want to actually do, and what I actually try to do when I do this, I haven't done this a lot because I prefer flipping players instead of badges, but what you want to do is basically, whether it's Monday or Tuesday, like early in the week when kind of 2K is a little bit dry, there's nothing dropping in 2K yet. If there is nothing dropping, what you want to do is go on the market and look for badges that are cheap. Now, first of all, you might not know what badges to get. That is completely fine. The way to find out is go on Friday, go on the market on Friday, find out how much every badge is going for, all the good badges at least. Don't go through, like, you know, Lob City Finisher and stuff like that. Go through badges that people actually use, find out how much they're going for, write them down, and then on Monday or, you know, Tuesday, a little bit later after the weekend, go ahead and take a look at those same badges, find out what price they are, and if the prices have dropped significantly, go ahead and pick up a lot of that card and then flip it again the following weekend, because usually weekends badges do tend to go up in price. That's just what I've noticed. Again, this is kind of a risky method, but again, anything with investing is risky, but if it pays off, it's going to pay off a lot. You're going to be able to make a lot of profit, and you don't even need a lot of MT to invest into badges. If you have like 50k 40k extra just lying around, definitely you could put it into badges and make quite a lot of MT just by simply letting them sit there for a few days and then flipping them when the weekend comes around. So boys, moving up from badges, I mean, there's one more consumable that I want to talk about, and that's diamond contracts. Now, obviously, diamond contracts, I mean, you're not going to make the most MT off these, and they honestly do take quite a long time to go back up in price. But every time 2K drops a diamond consumable locker code, or for example, a diamond contract locker code, like they just did the, past weekend, diamond contracts are obviously going to take a huge hit to price. These earlier in the year were around like 24,000, and they're probably going to end up going back up to like 24K eventually down the line. But right now they're around like 15,000, and this one is just sitting here right here for 15K. What you can do is actually pick up a lot. Now this is if you have a lot of extra MT, pick up a lot of those diamond contracts for like 15, 16K, and if you could actually get quite a lot, like a huge quantity of them, you're gonna be able to flip them later on down the year, probably for like 22, 23K. Now again, I don't know how long it really takes for the diamond contract market to bounce back. I don't really use this method. I used it last year. Last year it actually worked pretty great because the diamond contracts kind of bounced back quicker, but this year I haven't really touched it too much because it's a little bit of a risk investing 15,000 MT into each card, and you're gonna need a lot of MT to actually make a significant amount of MT, because obviously it's kind of an expensive card to invest into. So definitely something that you might want to look through and look at, but again, not really the best way to invest. The best way to invest is hands down player cards, and I'm going to show you guys what you can do and how to basically find what cards to invest into. So boys, the very last topic in today's video is investing into actual cards. Now this right here is actually pretty important. This right here is probably the easiest way to actually make MT. 90% of the time, you're probably going to make a profit off of any of your investments if you just follow the criteria, the very simple criteria of looking at a card and kind of analyzing it, whether it's going to go up or not. Now the best way to actually do this, there's two different ways. The first way is actually budget cards. Now budget cards, I've made most of my MT from. Now this right here, I mean, you guys know this Darius Miles, when it first came out, was around like 5,000 MT on the market. I know right now he's very cheap. We're not going to pay attention to that, but when he first came out, he was about 5,000. I stocked up about 10 or 20 of this card in my collection, and next week, literally the following week, once he was out of packs, this card right here went up to, I believe it was like 14,000 MT. So bam, right then and there, I made around like 80 to 90K MT off my investment or something like that. I don't even know how much I made. It was close to 100K, so definitely a nice little investment. But what I'm talking about, man, is budget card investing. Now the way to do this is to actually find a budget card. It kind of is easy, to be honest, man. It's not really that difficult at all. Find a budget card that is not super over expensive, because you don't want to spend a lot of MT on your investment. Like, let's just say the budget card is like 5 to 10,000 MT. That's the range I like to keep it in, to be honest. Personally, I feel comfortable with investing 5 to 10K into any card, and even less than that is fine as well. So what you want to do is kind of follow the community. Now what I mean by that is go ahead, look through videos on YouTube, look through tweets, look through people praising a certain budget card, and if you find a lot of people talking about one budget card, I guess the outcome will be that budget card will go up. That's what I've been doing personally, and it's actually worked. I saw a lot of people talking about Marcus Smart the week he was actually out in packs. He was only about like 4,000, 5,000 MT. Literally that Sunday that he was still in packs, he had already, went up in price, and the following week, he was even more up in price. So obviously, man, all you got to do for this is just do your research, find out what people are talking about, what cards are actually genuinely good. If you have, if you're good at 2K, you could actually get into some games, play with a certain card. If you actually think the card is good and is going to provide value for some budget players, you're going to be able to, right away go ahead and tell yourself this is going to be a good investment. So that's what I did with Marcus Smart. I tried the card out. He was a really good card. I saw a lot of people talking about him, DBG, Ty Debo, a lot of people just overall talking about this card. And honestly, bro, I just thought it was a good investment. That is basically what I do. Personally, you can just look at the community. If a lot of people are talking about a card and he's honestly around that like 5,000 MT range and he's cheap and you think he's very undervalued, he's definitely going to go up when he's out of packs. Just make sure the card follows this criteria right here. First of all, you want to make sure he's usable on pretty much any team. You want to make sure that there's not going to be a card that comes out next week that tops him. So make sure he's actually a really solid card. Obviously, you never know what 2K could do. Sometimes they release a card that's just way better. But if you think he's a very solid card and he could last more than like a month in the 2K life cycle, definitely invest into him. And if you see a lot of people on Twitter, YouTube, and just social media talking about him, man, he is a good investment. That is all you have to do. To be honest, it might seem simple, it might seem a little bit, I guess obvious, but that is all I did. That's how I made a lot of MT off Marcus Smart and Darius Miles. I just waited, saw a lot of people talking about those two cards, invested into them, and then boom, they shot up like crazy the following week. Now, one thing you want to be careful of is investing in a card that is way too overly saturated. So one of these cards that I'm talking about is actually Jonathan Isaac. A lot of people really like this card, and at the same time, I mean, he was actually honestly very, very cheap. I was thinking about investing into him, but when I took a look at how many were on the market, it kind of, you know, made me stop and not invest into this card, because at the end of the day, there's really not that much of a profit to be made. Now, if you guys take a look right now, there's actually less number of Jonathan Isaacs, and if I invested into him for like 1.3, 1.4K, I probably would have still made profit, but this card is only like 2.5K, maybe even like 2.2K. So definitely not worth it. If you see a card is very, very cheap, like super cheap, like I'm talking about 1 to 2,000 MT, be very, very careful, because most likely it's not going to go up. But if it's between that 5 to 10,000 MT range, if it's a card a lot of people are talking about, and if it's a card that's very, very usable and is going to stay usable, that right there is the definition and criteria of a card that is going to go up. So boys, the next thing we're going to be talking about is high-end investing. Now this right here is very, very risky, but it basically means buying pink diamond cards and high-end cards for way cheaper than what they're going for on, you know, basically the day before pack days or the day before a big drop. Now obviously you guys know, man, just before last season, obviously there's a lot of hype building for it. We didn't know what we were going to get. People thought, you know what, my card might be outdated, let me just sell it. People weren't buying cards, and to be honest, that's kind of the best time to invest, because for example, this John Wall right here was around like 150 to 180K, especially after those super packs dropped. And obviously this card is one of the best at its position. That is the criteria for investing into these high-end cards. They have to be one of the best in their position, and they have to be usable for, you know, quite a while. There can't be a card that comes out and kind of outdates them just like that. People are still going to use this card even if like a pink diamond, you know, John Morant for example dropped, that we actually ended up getting for free. So basically, man, the way this works, the way all this high-end investing works is as soon as 2K drops like a super pack, or, you know, as soon as there's like a content day, like for example Friday, you want to go on Thursday night, take a look at the cards. Now you want to go on earlier in the week, probably on Monday or Tuesday, and find out what the cards values are. Write them down, or just jot them down on your phone or something like that. Find out how much, you know, the top end cards go for. I'm not talking about cards like Moses Malone or Nick Batum or Chris Webber. I'm talking about cards like John Wall, like PG, like Giannis, top of the top cards, like best in their position cards, or, you know, top 3 in their position cards. You want to write them down on Monday or Tuesday. You want to take a look at them on Thursday night, and if you see the value has dropped like a lot, like 100K or more, what you want to do is bid on that card, bring him home to your collection, and hold on to him for about, you know, 3-4 days. You guys can go ahead and use him for the weekend, do whatever you want, and then sell him back on like Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, when kind of, you know, the hype from the new packs kind of dies down. The cards usually do end up going up, and like I said, that John Wall is a great example, man. We had super packs in the market, and, you know, a lot of people were ripping them. A lot of prices actually ended up dropping. That John Wall ended up touching like 150K, and then earlier this week, as soon as the new season was announced, we got kind of underwhelming packs, and that John Wall shot up to like 300K plus. So definitely high-end investing is very, very risky, but it can also pay off quite a lot if you have, you know, if you have the ability to do it. Go ahead and try it out. It's not something that I've done a lot this year, but again, you can make a lot of MT. I've actually been following some cards, and I see them going up already, and you could just, you know, just follow the cards, man. Write it down on Monday, check it on Thursday night. If it's dropped significantly and you know that card is very usable, if you know that card is one of the top cards in its position, you're gonna know it's gonna bounce back up, because prices don't always keep going down and down and down. So definitely use that to your advantage as well. And it's pretty much gonna do it for today's investing video. So boys, that's pretty much gonna do it for today's video. I know it was a long one, maybe a little bit confusing, maybe it was obvious for some of you guys, but hopefully, regardless of all that, you guys still enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you're able to put these, you know, tips into use. Go ahead, go out there, invest into some cards. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comment section. And like I said, man, not every investment is gonna make you profit. You just got to get lucky once in a while, and you will make profit. I promise you, if you follow the criteria, man. If you see a lot of people talking about a card, if you see the card is actually usable, if you see the card is, you know, 5 to 10,000 MT and not like super cheap, like 1 to 2K, that is the criteria that I follow. If you follow that, you should be successful with investing. Again, it all comes with risk, whether it's high-end investing, budget investing. The two best ways, in my opinion, are budget and badge. But go ahead, give these methods a go. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have made any profit this year on investing. In my opinion, you know, I think investing is a great way to make MT. My two best investments were obviously Marcus Smart and Darius Miles earlier in the year. But yeah, it's pretty much gonna do it for the video. I'm gonna wrap it up right here. It's already a long one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, man. Stay safe, stay blessed out here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.